Hello, so now I'm going to be demonstrating smears from a slant culture. So again, what we would start with is aseptic technique. I would have a lab coat on, I do have my gloves on. I would make sure my hair is pulled back, closed-toed shoes, no holes in my clothes, and then I would make sure that I would set up my workspace properly. I would use a germicide, and I'll show you the picture on the screen of the germicide that we would use to clean everything. And I will also show you on the screen, because we do not have it, is the Bacto incinerator that we will use to disinfect the inoculating loop, and also the Bunsen burner to dry the slide when that's done. And there that is. Oops, sorry. Okay, so first, like I said, we would prepare our workspace. I would label the slide, which I have right here, with the name of the organism, which again I used Bacillus cereus with my initials, IB. So first, with this experiment, we are going to take a small amount of water, which I have with my pipette, in the middle of the slide. So I'm going to put that right in the middle. Okay, so we have that. So we're going to put that to the side and set this down for a minute. Then we are going to mix the culture. I'm going to grab the culture, which is right here. And before we do that, I would actually take the inoculating loop and disinfect it, like I said, underneath the not the Bunsen burner, I'm sorry, the Bacto incinerator. So once we did that, I will open the top of it, making sure the end of it is away from the culture. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna take a small amount, and we will close that, set that down. And now I'm going to put that, put the culture in the middle with the water, and I am going to mix it together in a circular motion, like I'm doing, making sure that we're spreading it evenly over the slide. So what's important is that you don't want to have too much water, as it could, too thick could interrupt the staining process. But then also, if you don't have enough, you may not have enough bacteria to actually see the cells. So you want to make sure that you have a good amount. So I'm going to set that down. I'm going to sterilize this again underneath the Bacto incinerator. So I would do that. So now we're going to let the culture dry, air dry completely. And once it is dry, you should see a grayish, it should be grayish white. Again, if it's not allowed to dry, the bacteria may have been interrupted. So you want to check the thickness and make sure of that. Then once this is air dried, then we're going to heat it underneath the Bunsen burner. And so that the bacteria sticks to the slide and we're able to put it underneath the microscope. So I would put this underneath, I would pass it through the Bunsen burner 3 times, very slowly and smoothly, back and forth. I would probably have, something holding on to this so that my fingers weren't getting burned. But you would slide it back and forth 3 times, like I said, until it's dry. We would set it down and let it cool. And then once it is cooled, we would be ready to put it underneath the microscope and take a look at our cells. And until then, though, we would put it in until we looked at it, we put it in our slide box, which I also have a picture of here. Oop. That's where we would store it. And once we were done with everything, we would put this all in. This is my homemade biohazard sharps container, but we would put the slide in there, the culture and everything, and clean up, use the germicide again and clean up our space. What I didn't mention in the first video was any pencils or pens we would make sure that we used in the lab, we would keep in the lab. We would not take anything out, to make sure that we did not take any bacteria out with us. So that is it for this video.